This morning, Wilson is with one of the Friendship Nine who sat at a lunch counter in Rock Hill in protest of segregation back in the early 60s.
Yeah, it was McCrory's place back then, and now it's the Five and Dine. Hey, Wilson.
Hang on, we're talking about how Mr. Williamson here has not seen the movie Hidden Figures yet, which, listen, he wants to go to we're going to go to a Hornets game. I'm going to take you to that movie because I'm a big space guy. We got to go. Who are you talking to me about now? Who is this right here?
This lady from Monroe.
Yeah.
Darn.
Oh, yes. Yeah. From the Charlotte area. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. In the Herald right there. Yeah, a little Charlotte connection to that movie right there.
Yeah, Monroe County. Yeah, Union County. That's where he's from.
Yeah. So we're going to get, we're going to get another. Listen, speaking of the movies and all this kind of stuff, and you're seeing all of these pictures here and the history, and you're sitting in the exact spot that back in 1961. You weren't in that spot very long because you got arrested. Before the kids head to the school bus and all that kind of stuff, I told you we got a lot of moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and kids and teachers watching. I know you talk to a lot of people, and you go. There's some kids watching this right now, and there's seeing things going on these days that seem a little crazy to some of us. What are you saying to these kids these days about everything going on in the world?
Well, number one, listen to your parents. Pay attention to your teacher. Learn all you can. Make sure you're well versed in the technology of today. And, like you say, teachers and parents, you need to listen to your children too, because they can teach you things or two these days.
It's kind of funny that way how kids, kids really kind of, sometimes they do teach us, and they kind of show us the way sometimes when maybe we're a little unsure where to go, and then you see the kids. Kids sometimes just know how to do the right thing. And kids don't care. Kids are kids. Kids will play with anybody. Kids just, no, this is the right thing to do, and then you do it.
That is correct, because like say, the smallest child can probably work a computer where most of us adults cannot.
Yeah.
And I have a great grandbaby. She can make magic with the phones, those new tech phones.
It's crazy.
And she look at me and laugh because I don't know how to do anything.
Well, we were just sitting here talking. I was saying I'm going to be with the Hornets on Friday. And he was like, you going to Hornets? I want to go to Hornets. I said, well, give me your email. He goes, look, so you look at me. You ain't got no email.
No email.
We didn't have any. Listen, we're going to talk more. We got more time to talk in the 8 o'clock hour. Speaking of kids, there's a great children's book out about the Friendship Nine. We're going to speak with the lady that wrote that. That's going to be a pretty good one right here. And we're going to talk more with Mr. Williamson here, one of the Friendship Nine, about just about sitting here at this counter and with some of the things, again, that are going on. Is there a parallel to our world today and some of what he was going on right there with some of the protests and some of the people that are out there in our community? We got more coming up. We're glad you're in our community this morning. We're down in Rock Hill. We're hanging out here at the Five and Dine down here in Rock Hill. There's a historical marker right outside this place. If you haven't been down here before, we're going to talk about the food and all the great stuff and everything. Quite a lot of history at this counter. They've done a great job of preserving this. And if you're just tuning in, I'm talking to this gentleman right here, Mr. Williamson, one of the Friendship Nine. And, in fact, you just brought out one of the pictures right here. That's you all the way in the back right here on that corner. That's you. Now, that wasn't here. You're saying that was up in New York, right?
It's in New York on my 19th birthday.
So it's January 31st, 1961. You come in here and you sit in the chair that you're sitting in right now. What happened then?
I sit down like this, and they say they want to serve me, and I was up just like that.
That was it.
Yeah.
And who got you?
One of the officers from the state policeman.
Yeah.
They jacked it up, got you in the back of the collar and in the seat of your pants, and took you out the back door to the jailhouse.
And you went to jail, and you were just saying that around about this time, this date in 1961, you weren't just sitting in a cell, were you?
We was out on the road working. I either cutting grass, digging ditches, laying pipes, clearing land, and loading trucks with dump truck with sand with shovels, not backhoe with shovels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that was part of the plan, because these protests had been building from 1916 to 1961, and it kind of culminated to that point. We're going to talk more about that protest and how he's looking at the world these days, and some of this history right here, and about what's going on right now. You can come in here and have a great meal, and yeah, you can sit wherever you want at the Five and Dine. They'd love to have you. We got more coming up. Wilson's World. This is WCCB Charlotte. We'll be right back. We're going to talk more about some of the history and the Friendship Nine coming up in just a little bit. I want to make sure everybody knows this place is open. This place is rock and roll. I love this place. We were here for Restaurant Week. Selena's here. We got some nice menu items over here. Great to come down over the weekends. Have a nice brunch.
Yeah, Wilson.
What do we got right here? We got the chicken and waffles. You guys are famous for the chicken and waffles.
The chicken and waffles, as proved last night, it's a life-changing moment.
Yes.
People tell us that they're just not the same after they have our chicken and waffles. We've got our Bananas Foster waffle here, so one of our favorite brunch items here on our weekend brunch.
Now, this one right here, I haven't heard about this one.
You haven't heard about this? Okay, you ready?
Yes.
This is our Nutella and banana sandwich.
Okay.
It's Captain Crunch coated.
Yeah.
And it's one for the record books.
The kids love the Nutella right here. So, listen, Five and Dine, when can people come down and check you guys out?
We're open for lunch and dinner every day, brunch on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, it's a great little brunch spot, so come on down here. What I love doing down here in Rock Hill is you come in, you kind of, load up, get some food, and then go walk around, because Saturdays there's a lot of nice shops and a place, nice little old school downtown right here. Really, really great stuff. People want to find out more, make reservations, what should they do?
Yeah, you can check us out online at eat@fiveanddine.com or call us. Call us on the phone.
Come on in, and you can come and sit here where they've kind of they've. What I love is they've kind of paid respect to the history. They acknowledge the history, but we moved on and had a nice little restaurant. And so we come and eat, and sit here, and just really, really great stuff. Check them out online. Great website as well. We'll have that linked up for you, WCCB Charlotte. We're going to be talking with the author of a book about the Friendship Nine and Mr. Williamson, celebrating some history this morning, having some good conversations as well. We got more coming up on Wilson's World in just a bit. Back to you guys. Five and Dine, a historical marker out front. And we're going to talk with Mr. Williamson here, one of the Friendship. Really enjoying chatting here this morning. A lot of the history right here. I've emceed the Veterans Day Parade uptown Charlotte for quite a few years, and one of the things I always say is thank a veteran when you're out there. Let your kids see you do that. And that's how we pass these things on to the next generation. Kimberly Johnson is here with me, author of this book, No Fear for Freedom. And this kind of reminds me of that same sentiment right here. The way we can teach these kind of things is making sure that next generation knows. And tell me about this book.
Well, it was a great opportunity, number one, to let history live. And a lot of times we have these amazing icons who live right here in front of us, and we have no idea that they're right here under our nose. Yeah. So this was a great opportunity to tell a story about a group of men who did something so powerful and profound in 1961 that absolutely changed the dynamics of what we're able to do right now. Yeah. Sit at this counter.
At this very counter right here. And for this and everything, and the pictures and everything, it's very approachable. You're an educator. This is what you do. So you're telling this story. What was your favorite part about putting this all together?
Well, sometimes I like to work backwards, so can I tell you the hardest part about this? Yeah. The hardest part of the story was to take the message of the civil rights movement, because it was so ugly. Yeah. You can't water it down, you can't take away. I mean, people were literally mean to each other. So I had to be able to preserve the integrity of what happened in history, but find a way to tell it so that children wouldn't be more afraid or learn to hate more. So we made it a picture book in the middle, and then we made it a chapter book on the outside.
And so as the kids get a little bit older, and that is tough, because there's some people out there that are having a tough time talking to the kids about some of the things they're seeing on the news these days. This is a great way to do that. And speaking of that, I'm going to talk with you a little bit more. We're going to do a little bit extra for online right here. Mr. Williamson, one more time, if you're just tuning in, Mr. Williamson, one of the Friendship Nine. I've really enjoyed talking with you this morning. A lot of people look at this, and we're looking at this book and some of these pictures here, and that courage that it took for you all to sit here. What do you want people to know these days? When you look out on the world and you're seeing where we are, where we've come from, and everything, what do you want people to know about your reasons for standing up for this?
Well, the number one reason was to bring about a change. not just for the black people, but for America as a whole, because we were living in two different worlds at that time. We had a white and black world. And so it should stand for something. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So if you have a conviction about something, you should speak up and talk about it, but do it nonviolent.
Yeah. Well, and that is one of the things we were talking about here, where what you all did and the things that you had to go through, but you do these things, stand up for yourself, but do it in that nonviolent way.
That's the best way. It's the safest way, too.
Yeah. Listen, we're going to have more online on Twitter at Wilson's World. You can follow along right there. We'll have that right there. Where can people get this book?
They can order it from simplycreativeworks.com, or they can go to nofearforfreedom.com.
We'll have that linked up for you at WCCB Charlotte. That's Wilson's World and Rock Hill. Back to you guys.